Good morning, children. Today we are going to discuss Earth movements and seasons. Children, we know that the only planet in our solar system that supports life is Earth. That is due to the presence of water and atmosphere. Human beings live along with a large community of plants and animals. We can observe constant change in our surroundings in the course of a year. The flowering, the fruits of trees and plants changes in the animal activity, etc. As months pass by, you would notice the trees sheds leaves, stand bare, and new shoots come forth. Leaves grew again, they flower and give fruits. You may also have noticed that in different times of the year we get different kinds of vegetables and fruits. In some months it is very hot, and in some it is cold or wet. Most of the Indian subcontinent witness broadly summer, monsoon and winter. The far south like Tamil Nadu or Kerala or Andamans does not experience much cold during winter season. Likewise, the summer season is very brief in northeastern states. Most of the India, however, witness all the three seasons with warm summers, cold winters and rainy monsoons. According to the ancient Sanskrit literature, divides the year into 6 seasons, adding an intermediate season between each of the 3 main seasons. That is, in between the 3 main seasons. These are called Ritus. These 6 Ritus are Vasanta, that is spring, Grishma, that is summer, Varsha, monsoon, Sharad, autumn, Hemanta, pre-winter, and Shishira, winter. Each season is associated with certain agricultural operations and festivals. Vasanta Ritu marks the end of cold winter with flowering of trees and is also the harvesting time for winter crops. A number of communities in India welcome their new year during this season and celebrate it with festivals such as Vasanta Panchami, Holi, Ugadi, Gudi Padwa, etc. Grishma is the time when it is the hottest in most parts of India. Varsha Ritu marks the beginning of rains and agricultural operations in most parts of India. During Sharad, the skies become clear and monsoon crops ripen. During these seasons, festivals like Diwali are celebrated. This season is followed by Hemanta, which is another pleasant time across the country. Next is the Shishira, that is winter, which is the coldest period of the year. A number of crops harvesting festivals such as Pongal and Makara Sankranti are celebrated at the end of this season. Subpolar and temperate regions of the world typically experience 4 seasons of summer, spring, autumn and winter. In the last picture, you can see that the tree and its surroundings are covered by snow. It's a kind of soft ice. In the first picture, you can see the same tree sprouting leaves. There is no snow. In the second picture, the same tree has fully grown leaves. In the third picture, ripe red leaves are falling from the same tree. Do you know why these changes happen? Yes, that's right. These are due to different seasons. Have you ever seen your surroundings covered by snow? No, because in Telangana we do not have snowfall. You may have seen rainwater, but no snowfall. Some parts of the earth gets so cold during summer months that they get snowfall instead. It snows heavily in northern countries during winter. In summer months, it is not so cold but still much cooler than in our state. However, the funny thing is that in those countries, the day is much longer in summer. So much so that you can see the sun even at midnight. Can you find out the name of the country that is called the land of midnight sun? Can you locate it on globe? Yes, it is Norway. It is called the land of midnight sun. Children, locate Australia, South Africa and Chile on the globe. These are also called the countries of the southern continents, that is, continents that are located to the south of the equator. In these countries, the cycle of seasons is different. They have winter when we have summer, and when we have winter, they have summer. In fact, this is the pattern in all the places to the south of the equator. Children, look at the globe and find out the names of the countries which are located to the south of the equator. You are not only ones with such questions. For thousands of years, human beings have been curious about this matter and over time have worked out the answers. Let us try to understand why seasons change. Why are some parts of the earth warm and some cold? And why are the seasons opposite in northern and southern hemispheres? Children, let us learn factors affect the seasons. There are several factors which affect the seasons. Number 1. The spherical shape of the earth and the curvature of its surface. Number 2. Daily rotation of the earth on its own axis. Number 3. The tilt of the axis of rotation compared to the plane on which the earth moves. Number 4. The earth's movement around the sun once in a year, that is revolution. Curvature of the earth. As you have already studied that the earth is spherical in shape and its curved shape causes the distribution of heat over the earth's surface differently. The regions around the equator receives more sunlight and heat compared to the poles, where the sun rays falls slantly near the poles. This causes variation in receiving the heat and light over the earth surface. Earth's rotation on its axis. The earth moves around on its own axis. This is called rotation. It actually rotates around an imaginary line which connects the North Pole with the South Pole through the center of the earth is called axis. Earth takes about 24 hours to rotate around its own axis. It moves from west to east. That is the reason the sun, the moon and the stars appears to rise in the east and sets in the west. This is of course an illusion created by the eastward spin of earth. Day and nights are caused due to earth's rotation. The variation in exposure to the sunlight greatly influence the local temperature and wind movement. Children, what would happen if the earth do not rotate on its own axis? Then one portion of earth which is in front of sun would constantly get sun's heat and light, and the other portion would remain cold and dark. This would make both portions unfit for life. The bright half would be too hot and the dark half would be too cold. So, rotation helps the entire earth to get heat and light constantly on the daily basis. Earth's tilt and revolution around the sun. The earth revolves around the sun while rotating around on its own axis. This movement is called revolution. Earth takes 365 1/4 days to complete one revolution. Differences in the duration of days and nights and seasons occur because of revolution of Earth. The fixed and regular path through which Earth revolves around the sun is called orbit. The Earth's axis of rotation does not stand vertical on the plane, but it tilted by 23.5 degrees due to inclined axis of the Earth while revolves around the sun. The north and south poles are alternatively inclined towards the sun. It means when northern hemisphere has summers, southern hemisphere has winters. When southern hemisphere has summer, northern hemisphere has winter. Temperature belts on the earth. The tilt of the earth's axis combines with the spherical shape of the earth, which influence distribution of solar heat over the earth's surface. During the course of Earth's revolution around the sun, the Earth occupies various positions. As a result of the tilt of the axis, the area which faces the sun directly keeps shifting throughout the year. On March 21st and September 23rd, the sun shines vertically over the equator, and on June 21st, the sun is on the Tropic of Cancer, and on December 22nd, the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn. Thus, you can see that there is a belt within which the direct rays of the sun fall at some time of the year or the other. This belt extending from the Tropic of Cancer to the Tropic of Capricorn is called the tropical belt. This belt gets maximum heat energy from the sun. On March 21st and September 23rd, throughout the world, the day and nights are equal in size. So, these are called equinoxes. As we move northwards or southwards of the tropical belt, we reach a region where it gets warm in summers but also very cold in winters. This is the temperate zone. The northern portions of this region gets snowfall in winter. If you move further north or south of the temperate belt, you will reach the polar region. The seasons in this region are very peculiar. Sunlight and darkness divides the year in this region into summers and winter. That is, during winter it does not get any sunshine in the day. That is, for 6 months it is freezing cold, that the entire Arctic Ocean remains frozen throughout the year. Soil becomes frozen like a hard rock, and roots of the trees can't penetrate into them. So, trees does not grow in this region. During summer, for 6 months, it constantly faces the sun throughout the 24 hours of a day. The sun does not rise high in the sky, but only stays just above the sunrise point, that is horizon. When the sun appears for 6 months, the snow melts. Part of the sea also melts. Some plants like moss, lichen and some flowering plants grow.